Good evening, YouTube. This is Scott with InsideTheCurve.com, back with another video for you. This evening we're going to be going over the bitmap tracing capabilities inside of V-Carve, desktop, and Aspire. So to get started here, I got just a basic little 15 by 10 by 3/4 inch job. This real size isn't really going to matter for this. This is kind of just to demonstrate how the tool works and some tips to get you going in the right direction with it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK on this right now. So up here and under File Operations, we do have a folder with looks like a bird in the background of it. We're going to go ahead and click on that. It just says Import Bitmap for Tracing. So I found a basic little karate stickman on Google. We're going to open that up. I'm going to scale it up a little bit bigger, just so we can see what's really going on here. That'll probably work. So with it selected there, I'm going to go underneath Create Vectors section here, and then I actually do have a little bird over here. It says Trace Bitmap Fit Vectors to Selected Bitmap. So we can see it's selected by the dotted line around it. And we're going to select our bird there, and this is a black and white image, more black. And then we just got that selected. We're going to move down here, and it just says corner fit. How tight do we want to follow the bitmap corners? We'll just put that at about halfway. It's the noise, the pixels, and the fading of how easy and not easy you can see your bitmap there. Usually run that about 40. This can all be messed with. You got a little bit of preview there, and you got the preview button here to hit preview to see what it's going to look like, so you can kind of zoom in there and see how it's following these pixels here. And with this image, there's not much change, not a whole lot really going on. It's a pretty basic trace of object. They don't get very much easier than this. This software is capable of doing a lot more complex traces, but this is a good one to kind of show you how the tool actually works inside of V-Carve or the desktop or Aspire, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So we can see there's our trace of that. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply, and then close. And now we can see that it's traced, but we also have another layer now. We have our bitmap layer, so we can turn that off with a light bulb, and now we can kind of see really what's getting going on here. So this is the time I normally, after I do a trace like this, come in here and kind of really skim around everything and make sure all my vectors look good. So what I'm doing right now is I'm clicking down on the wheel of my mouse, and it's giving me the ability to kind of skim around it and make sure there's no open contours or crazy lines or nothing my bit can get back into. So something like this, you might want to hit N for node edit mode, so it's saying it's grouped right there. So I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to ungroup this real quick just to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to hit this ungroup button under edit objects. So basically what I would come and do in here is I would go in here and fix this, because that's a pretty hard corner there. So what we can do is draw an arc here, just to kind of give something for our bit to get into. Select our trim tool here, kind of clean these up. That way it's not such a hard point for our bit to get into. Just simple things like that. I'm going to go ahead and skim around this a little more. So you can kind of do the same thing here and smooth these lines out, just so you get a really crisp cut when you go to cut this out, if that's what you end up doing, or pocketing something like this in your object. So that's kind of how the basic trace of a bitmap works for a black and white image. Kind of want to show you a colored image, so I'm going to go ahead and go to File and New. I don't want to save anything on here. Okay, Same size again, size doesn't matter for this tutorial here. So I'm going to go back to our bird with the folder here. I'm going to click on that, and I got another stickman figure going on here. Go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. These are little pixelated images, so bear with me here. Just a quick Google search to get some images for this video. I'm going to go ahead and make these bigger so they kind of fit on the workpiece here. You can really see they are pretty pixelated when you get in there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Trace Bitmap, and these are, make sure they're selected, so they are color. You can see we do have a blue stick man. So this is that shape. So basically with the color mode is you're going to select what color you're wanting the trace to happen on. So this is picking up the colors it sees in here. So we can see we do have a red, so there's the red here, and this is the trace color. We can change this to any color we want to, so we make this black, so that trace color is black. And this one is blue, so now let's turn the blue has gone black, saying that it's tracing that, on which I'm going to turn it back to the red that I had on there, or the burgundy. So these are the two objects it's tracing. Then after that you basically have the same options here as how close you want to follow in the corners. Normally keep that on default. It changed from our previous demonstration there, and this is the noise, how sensitive you want to be on those pixels that we can see that's going on in here. And then we just have the fading as we did on the last one, which makes your bitmap darker or lighter, so you can kind of as well see what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and hit preview. We can see what kind of trace we got going on here. So you can see how it followed in there like that. So this is again something you want to zoom around your exterior trace and fix, and it kind of lines up. Just like I said, this is a pretty pixelated image. You can kind of see the hand here got really small there. It's picking up the different shade right there. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply on that and then close. I'm going to turn off our bitmap layer up under our layers tab here, and we can kind of see what's going on in there now. And again, we can just zoom around it. I would kind of want to fix that a little bit there. Get this a little wider so I get a bit in there. So if you had a let's say a 1/4 inch circle, or quarter inch cutter, it kind of gives you an idea of what size you would really need to get back in the crevices here. So you definitely want something much smaller, even though this isn't a very big bitmap here, or a project we're working with. I'm going to go ahead and delete that now. And then of course you can always, as you're working with these, and turn these back on, and you can really get in there and see. So we can have to see, as we can see, we can turn our bitmap back on here under the layers tab, and it gives us the ability to go in there with node edit mode. I hit Control N, you can see my cursor changed, and then we can go in here and select these points and really get them moved around where we want to, if we wanted to go over there. So if you don't like the way V-Carve or Aspire or Desktop traced your image, you can zoom around here and kind of edit your nodes if you want to make this a little bit smoother out like this. Have it come down like that. And if you right click on these nodes, you can kind of see it gives you different options for like smooth points, and you can actually cut the vector or delete the point. So as you can see, it is a very simple tool, and this tool is this scraping surface. It does do a lot more elaborate images, as long as they're fairly clean and the color contrast is pretty good on it. I'm sure as this channel expands and grows, you'll see me start using it more often in some of my projects, as I have in the past. So I hope you got something from this video, and if you did, it'd be greatly appreciated if you go ahead and like and subscribe, as I'm going to continue to pumping these videos out. And as I previously said in other videos, I am creating a CNC course kind of for beginners. So if that's something you'd be interested in, it'd be awesome if you were to visit InsideTheCurve.com and get signed up for that. I'm working on getting all that put together. So if there's any kind of other videos you would like to see, be sure to comment down below and let me know. So until next time, be well.